The last time we took a look at Mega Man, it was on the NES with a series send-off of sorts, Mega Man 6. But that wasn't the last we'd see of the Blue Bomber, as a couple years after 6, we'd see him make his return on the Super Nintendo with Mega Man 7.
I assume this blindsided a lot of fans at the time, since Mega Man X had already been released, taking the franchise in a new and fresh direction, so taking a step back and returning to the classic series was probably a shocking move to say the least.
Actually, now that I think about it, X2 might have already been out too, which makes the move even more surprising. Regardless, being a bona fide Mega Man fan at this point, I was curious to see what the series' jump into the 16-bit world would entail, so let's get into it.
The first and most apparent thing is the presentation. The Super Nintendo's power was definitely taken advantage of when making this game. I mean, just look at these visuals. Every aspect of this game looks beautiful, thanks to the added detail and variety present in both the cutscenes and in-game action. Speaking of cutscenes, you'll be seeing a bunch of them, since this game is a lot more plot heavy than past classic series games. Well, maybe not a lot more. We're not talking some lengthy multi-layered RPG shit here, but compared to the last 6 games, there's a lot more to pay attention to from a narrative perspective alone. While we're on the topic, I'd like to touch on the plot, if briefly. I know I said I was going to avoid talking about classic series plot since they're all basically the same, but there's some key details here that explain certain gameplay elements. At the end of Mega Man 6, Wily was captured by Mega Man, leading to many rejoicing at what they thought was the end of the mad scientist. But it was short-lived, as Wily had a backup plan. He built 4 robots that would activate if there was no sign of him after a certain length of time, and naturally once they sprang to life they set him free. And after a short intro stage that gives you a feel of the game, you get the chance to take on one of the 4 Robot Masters. Yes, just the 4. This of course makes narrative sense as there were only 4 robots to break Wily out of prison, but this cuts the replayability of the game in half, since a lot of the enjoyment and replayability that came with the classic series was in having all of the levels of Robot Masters unlocked from the start. You do eventually unlock the rest of the Robot Masters, but that's only after beating the first 4. But it's not like that really matters, because once you get your first weapon, every other Robot Master goes down without much of a fight. Don't get me wrong, they're not complete pushovers. I mean, Shademan specifically gave me a bit of trouble, even with his weakness at my disposal. But generally the game is fairly easy all things considered. It only really picks up in challenge during the Wily stages. However, even that can be remedied with all of the hidden goodies you can find. Throughout the levels you can find plenty of upgrades and useful items, like the returning Rush forms as well as Beat the Bird. There's also the new Super Adapter, which is a mix of the 2 Rush adapters from 6. This is obtained after collecting 4 letters that spell out Rush. You can also locate other harder to find items like the homing punch for the Super Adapter, using Rush's new search ability, or something like Proto Man's shield after exploring a little. That's actually something this game does remarkably well. This game rewards different types of playstyles, whether that be taking the time to explore and find secrets and alternate routes, or just tackling stages in typical point A to point B fashion. Sure, the classic series has always done this to a degree with the choice in what order you fight the Robot Masters in, but this is pushing it to the next level and breathing new life into the series. Usually I'd criticise the lack of difficulty, but I think it was done purposefully by the devs, to give those who don't know about the secrets, or don't want to go out their way for them, a fair chance. But if you decide to go out your way for them, from what I hear, you become this unstoppable force that can power through stage after stage, similar to Samus at the end of most Metroid games, which I think is absolutely awesome. However, if you really truly don't want to explore for the items, you can find most of them in Auto's shop after you acquire a special bolt. Oh yeah, Auto's Dr. Light's new robot. He doesn't really do much. But even if you don't find the bolt, the shop is still pretty useful, giving you the ability to buy extra lives and E-tanks. It's just another addition to make the game easier, but a good addition nonetheless. Speaking of new additions, Otto isn't the only new character in this game. We also have Bass and his wolf-like companion Treble. They're originally presented as a pair of vigilante robots who just want to bring Wily to justice, but it's later revealed Wily is actually their creator. I'm going to be upfront and say that I absolutely love these guys. I'm not usually a sucker for edgy anti-hero types, but there's something about these two I just love. And their mini boss battle of sorts is really fun and intense to boot. I love it. Actually, that's something this game employs quite often. This game is filled with mini bosses and even some larger than average enemies to keep you on your toes. It can get a bit much just like when previous games did it, but I can still appreciate it from a gameplay standpoint, since it adds some variety much like the subtle differences present from stage to stage. This game does a really good job at keeping stages from blending in with one another. Part of that could be chalked up to visual flair, but It's also thanks to the subtle differences in obstacles and puzzles. Whether it's a falling trash in Junkman stage or the springs in Springman stage, there's enough variety to keep the gameplay fresh, and after 6 games of mostly the same stuff, the subtle change really helps spice things up when paired with all of the other changes and additions. They had a great deal of personality to the game at large, much like the sections between stages. You see, this game introduced sections between the main levels that usually serve a narrative purpose, and they're really cool and do a good job at tying this game into a neat little package.
I have very few complaints in regards to this game. This might be my favourite Classic Series game so far. If I had to pick on something, I'd maybe say the soundtrack isn't the best or most memorable, but saying that, Burstman's theme has been stuck in my head all week, so that should account for something. But despite not being the best or super memorable in my eyes, I still think this is a pretty solid soundtrack all round. And it's actually quite refreshing after 6 games of being subjected to the NES sound font and a lot of songs that admittedly sound the same. I'd say Mega Man 7 is a great jumping in point for the series. It's up there with the likes of Mega Man 2, it's that good. So if you want a bit more of a modern take on the classic series for your first Mega Man experience, 7 might be the game for you.